Welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday the 24th of January 2021. Being a Sunday, we're going to go through the stats from yesterday's game. And here we go. This is from whoscored.com. And this is facts of the match. So you see the attempts there. We had 15. 12 from open play, 3 set piece. They had 13, 8 from open play, 4 set piece, 1 penalty, and they scored 3 goals from their 13 shots, which is a 23% conversion rate, which is not at all very good to concede that. Where were we attacking? We were going mostly down the wings again. They were evenly split. Shots from us mostly down the middle though, and for them down the middle and down the right. You can see the shot signs there. Most of it was played in the middle. We didn't actually have that much of the game being played in our half. They caught us on the counter quite a lot. Player positions here. So Bristol City quite tight, packed 5 bunched up in the middle of the field, run in the middle, and here we are with the way we're set up. Quite a bit of space between everyone there. If you look on the right hand side here, you can see top 5 players were all Bristol City players. Naki Wells got man of the match, just ahead of Tommy Rowe. Shots, Bradshaw actually had the most shots of the game. He had 5 shots. Bloody Alex Pearce had 2. Tackles, Mason Bennett 8 tackles, more than double the next player, Tommy Rowe, with 4. So Mason Bennett getting stuck in there. Also on that list for Millwall, number 4, Ben Thompson with 3. Dribbles, 1 from Shane Ferguson. So let's move on. Same website. This is the player ratings set up. Let's just go through the timeline of the match. So on 32nd minute they got a penalty and scored it. And then on the 58th minute they got the free kick, which caught a deflection and win the goal. Then we make the changes after we've gone 2-0 down, and as we bring on those players to try and attack more, then they hit us on the counter and scored a goal from the counter on the 72nd minute, and then that was it, game all over. Then on the 76th minute we had a chance. Mason Bennett come down our left flank, whipped it in for Ben Thompson with a header, just going past the side of the post, and at that moment, straight after that moment, Gary decides to substitute both of the players at our best opportunity of the game. So I'm sure it was already pre-planned and he was going to do it anyway, but I mean, optics. We're trying to come back, and they're going for it. They run down, set up a goal between them, and he pulls both of them off at the same time. It's like he's trying not to score. It's like they showed too much effort, so he pulled them off. You gotta look at the optics, Gary, before you make stupid substitutions like that. As you can see here, player ratings. The average player rating for Mill 6.21 if you look at the badges at the top, and for Bristol City 7.33. We were beaten all over the pitch. They outplayed us everywhere. If you look at our best player, which in my opinion I agree with this, just by watching the match yesterday, I thought Mason Bennett was the best Mill player on the pitch, 7.1, and every single one of the Bristol City starters except for one which is the one that he was playing against the most, their right back Mariappa. Every other Bristol City player has a better rating than our best player at 7.1. And yeah, not good for fielding, 4.9. He was pretty awful, really. I think if Bart gets injured, then we're screwed. If Bart gets injured, you should sell your house, take all the money, run down to the bookmakers, and put a bet on us getting relegated. Because if Bart gets injured, we are screwed with him in goal. We have no chance. Absolutely none. He was just atrocious yesterday. Oh yeah. So for Mill, next best player, Ben Thompson. Yeah, pretty much agree with that. And worst outfield players, Cooper and Parrott. Yep. Yep, I agree with that as well. So let's have a look. What we got here? Total shots. Who had the shots for the teams? Spread around for Millwall. 5 for Bradshaw, 2 for Parrott, 2 for Bennett, and even 2 for Pierce there. Okay, possession wise. So Ferguson had the most possession for Millwall. He had 7% of the game possession. Wow, well, that's interesting. Both of the fullbacks did, but the players in front of them didn't really. So what were they doing with the ball? Just, you would think it would be in line with the players in front of them, but not really. Leonard 6.2. Okay. Pass success percentage. Let's move on. So Leonard, Ferguson, and Parrott, top players. 47 for fielding, 59 for Zahor. Not very good for Zahor. He didn't play very well yesterday, I don't think. Dribbles, we had hardly any dribbles. We were resorting to long balls quite often. Yeah, when we got jammed up and we got closed down, they were knocking long balls, and they couldn't really pass it around. Aerials 1. Zahor 6 aerials 1. Thompson 4. Pierce 6. Yeah, but if you look at their defense, they got high aerials 1. 743. Oh well, tackles evenly matched. None of our forwards had a tackle. Okay. Like we saw earlier, Bennett with 8. So I suppose he had to make up for Parrott and Zahor didn't do any tackling. And even Ferguson playing at left back, and he didn't make a tackle. That's a bit odd. Strange. To be a defender and not have to make a tackle. You'd think you'll get at least 1 per game. Corners, yeah. Ferguson, Leonard. Dispossessed. Who got dispossessed? All of our midfield got dispossessed at least once. Bradshaw 3 times, Romeo 3 times, Thompson 3 times. Not very good there. Let's move on to the chalkboard. Go even further deep into the numbers, like a crazy mathematician. So, passes. This one's a bit weird. If you're looking at this, Millwall are in red because we're the home team, and Bristol City are in blue because they're the away team, because that's how this website does it, even though the kits yesterday were the opposite. So Millwall in red. Millwall are in red. And don't look at the graphic, look at the side. The players who had the most passes for Millwall. Ferguson 73. Didn't do much with it. But if you look 411 to 405, The passing was pretty even, but they did more with their passes because they ran the game. They passed to each other. They didn't lose possession. And they had twice as many dribbles as us. Tackles attempted. We tried to tackle more. Interceptions, they intercepted more, especially down here. If you look on the pitch now, and down their left flank, down our right flank, I think that was Tommy Rowe, their left back. That's why he had such a good rating. He intercepted the ball quite often, so that's probably Romeo and Bradshaw not linking up well. Misplacing passes. Clearances, we had 11, they had 20. Cooper had 4, Pierce had 3. Blocks evenly. Offsides, 1 for us, 2 for them. Touches, pretty much same amount of touches for each team. Similar amount of passes, similar amount of shots. They had 3 goals, we had none. Loss of possession, who lost the ball? Bradshaw 6 times, Thompson 5 times, Bennett 5 times, Romeo 4 times. Let's have a look. Who lost the ball where? So let's bring this back up. Romeo, that's where he lost the ball. Not too bad. Who lost it in our half? Anyone? Bradshaw lost it high. Where did Thompson lose it? Oh, quite high. So no one lost it in our half? No. All pretty far up the field. Okay. Well, Berry got lost possession twice. Not good, soon as he come on as a sub. Saves. Well, their keeper 7 saves, and our keeper 1. Their keeper did have a good game. He was fired up, young lad fired up. Got an opportunity, not their usual goalkeeper. And he wanted to do well. You could see it. He had passion, which is what a lot of people, when they say play the kids from our team, play Alexander, play Muller, because they're chomping at the bit to impress. They've got fire, they've got passion, because it's youthful exuberance. That Fielding didn't have that yesterday. It looked like he didn't want to be there. It looked like, oh, why am I playing? I just want to sit on the bench, get a paycheck for doing nothing. But like I said, if Biakowski gets injured, we're screwed. It's game over. Moving on. Player stats in a list. Most of it's just the stuff you've already seen, but that being in a list, you can actually see it clearer. So, best player, Mason Bennett, as you can see, is 7.07. What I said in my video sometime previously, I can't remember when, but I was saying the players play up to a certain level, and what you want them to do is to play up to that level over and over. You set the standard for themselves, playing at a certain standard. So just, you can do that. Do it again. You played up to that standard in that game, then do it in this game now. What you see with Mason Bennett, he's got 7.07. So if we go to his season average rating and have a little look down, you got his 6.53 is his average rating. So him getting 7.07, he's played better than his average, which is decent. You couldn't ask any more than that. But these ratings here, you see all the ratings for the players, like low 6s and high 5s. That's, even though this was the FA Cup, we were playing against a championship team who we won a game against about a month ago. We beat them 2-0, I think. But we're getting ratings this low. Look at Leonard, 6.23. He's rating in this game. His season average rating, 6.84. Not a good game from him yesterday. Below par. Average. Below average. So you can see, with these ratings, we were playing a championship team, and they weren't good enough. They're getting low 6s and high 5s, most of the team. Like only 3 players got above 6.5. That's 6.5 out of 10 is bang average championship standard, and most of the team couldn't play up to that standard yesterday. So if they can't play up to that standard, what does that tell you? They're League One players. Well, if they're League One players playing for a championship team, that championship team is going to go down to League One. Because that's how it works. Cream rises and shit sinks. And if these players don't start playing up to standards they previously met, then we're going to sink. We're going to sink down to the bottom 3. And we're going to get relegated. Let's have a look here. So the most touches for Millwall, Romeo, Ferguson, 81. And then a big drop off to Leonard, 68. Shots. So we saw Bradshaw had the most shots with 5, but he only had 2 shots on target. He needs to do better than that. We saw Mason Bennett 2 shots, but he 2 shots on target. Another thing I wanted to show you here is checking out the ratings. In the red on the right hand side. So again, Troy Parrott, another poor game from him, 5.91. He was subbed off for Tyler Burry, who came on and has had a better rating than him, 6.01. That doesn't happen often, because Troy Parrott had 62 minutes to play to get that rating. The player who came on for him had 30 minutes, and you would, even in 30 minutes, you're not going to get enough of the game or do enough to get enough of a high rating to get higher than the player you've just replaced. It doesn't really happen unless you play out your socks, or they design players to go through you because you're the super sub and they want to try and score. So Tyler Burry come on, he done okay when he came on, but doing okay when he came on, he still got a higher rating than Troy Parrott, who got subbed off after 60 minutes. Troy Parrott is not a championship player. He shouldn't be starting another game for Millwall at all. We should send him back. Send him back to Spurs. And you know what? If we send him back, then he goes back out on loan to someone else, and he does well. I wouldn't even care. You know, it's like he's not doing it for us. He's a liability. He's not an asset. He's a liability. So that's just a quick look through some of the stats from yesterday's game. Hopefully that's given you some insight into seeing a bit more clearly how bad things are and who the liabilities in the team are. And we've got another game on Tuesday. If we win on Tuesday, then this result can be forgotten and we can all move on with joy in our hearts that we've just beaten Watford at home. will that happen? Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.